Have you ever watched the show Hoarders Buried Alive? Did it make you cringe? You might have that same sickness. That's this week on Think Tank Tuesday. Hi, I'm Paul Potratz, and welcome to this week's Think Tank Tuesday. So the other night, I was watching Hoarders Buried Alive, and I mean, wow, really? And yeah, I'm the guy, it's like the last one to watch any shows and series, and I've heard people talking about it. But I was sitting there watching that show, and I was just, it was sad. It was really, truly sad. Seeing as far as how people have this mental block or this mental sickness, and how they were valuing themselves in the stuff that they had. But the stuff that they were collecting was pretty much worthless or next to worthless. In fact, some of these people had so much stuff that their living conditions, their health was in jeopardy because they had so much junk that it just it wasn't sanitary anymore. So, do you have that same sickness? If you don't, I guarantee you know somebody that does. But I'm talking about hoarders in marketing. So ask yourself, are you a hoarder in marketing? And what do I really mean by that? Think about that. Are you a salesperson's dream that the salesperson comes in and goes, oh, here you go, I've got a great radio campaign. I've got 500 radio spots for $500. That's $1 a holler. And you're like, oh yeah, that's good, sign me up. And then the cable guy comes in, here you go, I've got 5,000 TV spots. And $1 an hour or $1 a holler, however, and you're like, sign me up. And then the newspaper guy comes in and goes, here you go, I've got 18 newspaper ads for the month and I'm only going to charge you blank. And you're like, oh wow, sign me up. And then you get the email from some digital marketing company saying, hey, we're going to give you 1.2 million impressions on retargeting or 1.2 million impressions on display advertising. And you're like, oh wow, sign me up. And then you got the guy that called you and goes, hey, here you go, I've got an email blast for you. We're going to spam everybody in your market, and we're going to spam them until they hate you. And you're like, wow, is it going to sell cars? You bet it is. It's a great package. And you're like, sign me up. So you're doing that, and all of a sudden you're dishing it out, and you're buying third-party leads, and you're buying this, and you're buying that. And it's like you go to the end of the month, and it's like, boom, wow, oh, what happened to our ad budget? And your ad budget's out of control, but you're not selling more cars. You're not getting more service appointments. You're just spending because you're a hoarder. So my question to you is, do you really kind of think through it? Are you looking at the strategy? Are you building a strategy out? If you're buying these basically get-rich-quick schemes is what they're selling you, some package, you're not. And but let's think about it. Let's think about those packages that they're shoving down your throat. Is it really a good deal? No, it's not. If it was a good deal, they wouldn't be giving you so many spots and you wouldn't be getting it so cheap. We've all heard the cliche before, if it's too good to be true. So think about it that way. So don't be a marketing hoarder. More is not better. Just because as far as, 5 is good, 10 is better, 25 is even better, 100, wow, now we're talking 500, sign me up. That's not the way it works. It's not. It's not all about the quantity. It's about quality. So when you're building your marketing strategy, you have to look at what is the quality of the spot? What is the quality of the airtime? What is the quality of the placement? Because we're all busy and we're running. And having 100 spots talking to somebody when they might be there and they might not be there is not the way to build it. Because it's going to cost you money. So granted, yeah, those 5,000 spots for $5,000, that the odds of somebody hearing it, not so good. Maybe you take that $5,000 and you buy something like 500 spots or 50 spots or even 5 spots when you know people are tuned in, when you're going to reach people. But before you buy those spots, again, don't be a hoarder even in your messaging. So I'm talking about hoarder, being a hoarder and buying the spots. But what about being a hoarder, about putting all those messages out there? You've got companies that are trying to get you to sign up for all this basically automated video. And they're like, hey, we're putting hundreds of videos out on as far as the web every single day. And you're like, wow, you're going to do videos, these automated videos, and hundreds of them, they're going to be in the search engines? Oh yeah, sign me up. Don't do it, because now you're being a hoarder in the messaging. Your message has to be good. In other words, what are you trying to promote? What are you trying to sell? It's not just throwing it out there and just like throwing it against the wall and seeing what sticks. So the takeaway of this video, number one, get a good message and make sure the message is spot on. Put some thought and some consideration in the message of what people want to hear. And number two, don't start collecting on all those spots, and don't fall for those as far as packages that's going to save you all the money. Because at the end of the month, you're going to end up spending more money. And I mean, we all know, we really, really do, that as far as you spend a little more, you get something better. So really analyze your marketing strategy and make sure. So now I ask you, do you have that sickness? If so, then you probably need to get an intervention, and you need to get away from it, because it's also affecting the way you're hiring people. It's affecting your staff. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but next week we're really going to go into as far as hoarding for your team. In other words, are your managers, is the owner, are they a hoarder, and how's that affecting your team? But I want to hear from you. Comment below and tell us what you think. Tell us some experiences you've had. And I'll see you next week when we talk about hoarding for your sales team.